We'll see if you guys can hear me now. It looks like the microphone button's working. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I don't know what to do. Nobody's in here, but you guys will pick up. You'll have to come back and listen to it. They're hacking me as I go. As I log in, they hack me. As I try to do, first they kill the camera, then they kill the microphone. I'm just going to play the video. I'm just going to play the audio. You guys listen to it, and we'll go from there. Nobody's going to pick up the stream because they're on the other stream. So I'm going to try to play it. You guys just bear with me. Let me see if I can get this thing working correctly. Give me a second. This is so freaking hokey. I wish somebody would help me, but I can't do anything with a hacked computer, and I'm hacked constantly. So here we go. Here you go.
Mr. Towns
speaking.
Chief Bates, how you doing, sir?
Hanging on for dear life, sir. How are you?
Good. Returning your phone call?
Yes, sir. Hoping I can have time to come up here and sit down with you and have a talk.
Excuse me, sir?
I was hoping that we could maybe set up a time for me to come up there, me and my wife, and sit down and have a talk with you.
No, sir. We're gonna resolve this on the phone. We're not gonna sit down in person.
Okay. Well, what's the resolution?
Okay, I'm having a hard time. It's like you're fading in and out.
Oh, okay.
You want me to try to call you back, or
no? Go ahead and speak. I'll see if I can move somewhere else in my home.
Yeah, that's good. No, I can hear you good there. No, what I thought we'd do, Mr. Townsend,
yes,
is I listened to your message, and if there's anything else that you want to add to that, I'm willing to listen to all of that, and then I would just like for us to have a pretty good dialogue, and maybe let you talk, and then uninterrupted, and let me talk uninterrupted. I think that's going to be the best way to handle this.
Right.
So, is there anything you want to add to that? What you left on my voicemail?
Well, I don't understand why you're number two guys taking pictures of my home. It just kind of makes me feel in danger for my life because I know that I don't commit crimes. I know I'm not a criminal, and I ain't been out of my house in a month because I've been sick. I just find it odd that every time I've had a problem in Longview with somebody actually breaking the law, Longview wouldn't help me. But here I am on this property across the street from my home that I help maintain, and your deputies go through all this effort to get me trespassed from that property for a non-crime. I don't get it. I don't understand why the effort was put in to keep me off of an empty piece of property that I help maintain, I help pick trash up off of, I help take care of. I guess it just doesn't really make sense to me why your officers would go through all that trouble. And then when I spoke to the property owner, he told me, he said that he didn't want me trespassed off the property. And this is his words, and I have the conversation recorded. He said that if you guys keep harassing him, then he'll have to trespass me from the property. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, the main reason that, I just don't get it. I don't understand. So if you can help me understand what the problem is, because this isn't the first time I've had issues with Longview Police Department. The last 6 months, I've been profiled coming across that bridge in Longview by two of your officers. They had no reason to pull me over, but they pulled me over because I had a bunch of scrap and junk. Because I'm disabled, but I don't get a government check. Nobody helps me. So me and my son, we go and we tear down old buildings and take the materials and try to sell them. So twice we've come across the bridge, and your officers have pulled me over and I guess profile me like I'm some kind of meth head stealing from a construction site or something. They were polite about it, but I always thought you had to have reasonable suspicion or a crime to pull somebody over in a vehicle going down the road. So I've felt a change from your department concerning me. I've always had a good rapport with everyone, but something went sour somewhere, and it wasn't on my part. Just like the deputy that trespassed me from the property. Heck, he used to pull up when I was street preaching. He'd pull up, he'd carry on a conversation with me, he'd talk with me. Exchange dialogue. I've always bragged on my YouTube channel about Longview Police Department about, how nice they were and courteous, this, that, and the other. And something changed somewhere between your department and me and my family. I don't know what that disconnect was, but it's scary to me now that your number two guy is taking pictures of my home. My son was terrified. He's like, why is this guy taking my picture, Dad? And I was like, I don't know. Because I can only imagine what comes next, because the FBI in our country doesn't have the greatest reputation at this time. I don't know. Should I lay here and worry if your officer's going to kick my door in and shoot me? Because that's what it feels like.
Okay, or is that where we're at? I mean,
yeah. Whatever you got to say.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off.
I appreciate that. I
try not to cut people off. It's real easy to do, but I try not to do that.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, I hate you're sick. I really do. There's sickness running around everywhere, and I just come off a bout with the flu, so it's terrible.
Yep.
Anyway, I hate you're sick. Number two, I hate that your son was scared this morning, because that was in no way, shape, or form any intentions to scare you or your family. So let me go back first of all to the the remarks you made about the relationship, and then we'll lead into it. I'm just going to kind of follow the path you followed with what you started with. I'm not real sure. I know. I hear what you're saying. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Townsend. I think there's a lot of stuff that happens, and for whatever reason it happens, and there's no ill will towards anything, and it's just the way things happen, and then things get blown out of proportion. I understand that, just like you understand that. We're grown men.
Yep.
I can tell you that my officers don't profile anybody. If they're out stopping cars and doing their job, and there's a complaint, I welcome any complaint on that. So I will look into those two incidents. If you want me to, you're just going to have to try to narrow a date down so I can, we stop a lot of cars. So do you want me to look into those times?
No, because I understand what their job is. I understand it. But if you ain't got a reason to pull somebody over, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
I understand that. And like I say, I will look into that if you want me to. So as far as let's talk about the land across from you.
Yes, sir.
I'm very familiar with this whole thing that's went back and forth. Unfortunately, the information that you're getting from the property owner and the information that we're getting from the property owner is two different stories. I'm by no shape or form calling you a liar, but I'm not getting that information from him that you're allowed to do that. At any point that this landowner wants to allow you to be on that property, all he has to do is give us, contact us, let us know, and then he can revoke that trespass agreement in writing. Now, that's the best I can do for you there.
Can I cut in here for a second? And this is what he explained to me, and this is the way he feels. I'll let you. I can email you the conversation, because every phone call, because I get a lot of death threats constantly. I get death threats on my phone. I've reported it, and then when I try to get your deputies to give me the report, then they say, "Oh, well, the report's disappeared. The report wasn't made." And this is like weekly that I get death threats. So he in his words, he said he feels like if he tells you guys to let me back on the property, that's going to cancel the trespass, and that means that you guys aren't going to protect his property. I mean, that's the way he feels, and his words were that if you guys keep harassing me, then you will trespass me from the property. That he would trespass me from the property. I guess my problem is we're taking this approach to keep me from being on a piece of property that no crime was committed. It is not a crime in Longview to have a bow and arrow. It's not. A lot of people may think, well, you were wrong for shooting across the road, this, that, and the other. But the reason is I can't walk very far much times. Some days I can't even walk. Sometimes I can't even get off the couch. So I'm at an elevated position in my yard shooting at styrofoam. In no way would I ever shoot at a vehicle, shoot near a vehicle, or shoot around the vehicle. I mean, I'm wiser than that. I'm 46 years old, and I've never harmed anybody with a gun or a bow or anything. So I can understand the concern like that. But I think this is crazy that I helped maintain that property, and you guys are taking this stance to kick me off the property. It just amazes me.
Okay, well, I'm not going to. We can beat this horse all day long, and I can say this: we were there, and that property becoming our attention because somebody called on you for shooting a bow and arrow.
And this is one of the people that harass me weekly.
Okay, Mr. Townsend, I'll let you speak. Let me speak, please.
Yeah.
So this trespass agreement is for anyone. It doesn't specifically say you. And I'll say this again for the last time, and then this is it. I'm not going to respond to this trespass thing anymore. All the man's got to do is revoke it, and then it's fine. Dead end. I'm not talking about it anymore because we can keep talking about this for day in and day out. It's pointless. That's just the way it is. I apologize, but I'm done talking about that.
Lovely.
So, next, all right. So, do you want to continue our conversation?
I'm waiting to hear what other divine inspiration you have.
All right. So, divine inspiration. That's a good one. So let me address the photograph this morning of your house.
Yes, sir.
So as you know, because you do this, you've done this as well. You can take a picture of anybody's house in a public street.
Yeah.
So you agree or disagree?
I know it's First Amendment right to do that. Except
Okay.
You guys have the weight of the federal government behind you. I don't.
Okay. Agree or disagree, sir?
I understand it's legal.
Okay. So the reason the photograph was taken of your house this morning is because it is a part of an investigative file that has been opened up on you.
Really?
Yes, sir.
For what?
There is an well, I really don't have to disclose.
I understand. I was hoping we could,
Yeah. So part of this intelligence gathering on you is due to your online statements of, and I've watched every one of your YouTube videos from the most targeted citizen to targeted citizen 3. I personally watched every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So a major concern is a statement on there that you're going to go to our code enforcement officer, the one you refer to as the code Nazi, that you're going to go to his house. Well, that's of grave concern, that you're going to go to a town employee's house. Also, you make statements that the only good cops are dead cops, and that you cheer every time a cop dies, that you are targeted by the government, that planes actually write your name in the sky.
And you don't believe a word of that, do you?
So I'm not going to talk about that. That's not even in my realm of thinking. But what I'm going to say is we are gathering all the intelligence that we can on you and your beliefs, so we can be prepared for any threat that you may pose to our community or town government.
Wow.
Like you told my second command, you were going to drag that target out there and endanger the community. You even say it on your YouTube channel. So that's why the picture was taken. No, nobody's going to bust through your door and murder you like the statement you left on my voicemail. But that's where we're at. I'm an honest man. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm going to tell you that's why we took a picture of your house. Because it's part of the file.
Well, I'm already on a government watch list, so I guess that really wouldn't matter.
As far as, I really think I really have some credence into this following my code enforcement guy home, because you followed a man to Iredell County and put your phone number in his mailbox.
Absolutely.
That you thought was following.
I absolutely know he was.
I am concerned as the chief of police of this town, and my job is for the entire community protection. And I do think you're a dangerous man, Mr. Townsend.
Wow.
I'm not going to meet with you. I'm not going to meet with you in person up here in this building. I will talk to you on the phone and do that. But I think you're dangerous. I think you need to seek some mental help. And, I wish you the best. But that's just as honest as I can be with you, sir.
Wow. So you're going to protect the community, but you won't protect me. Lovely.
Okay. Well, do you need anything else from me, Mr.
Oh, no. I'll just sit back and wait for you guys to kick my door in and kill me.
Hey, Mr. Townsend, how long have you lived here in Longview?
8 years. 8 years. Do you know how many times your deputies have come to, I'm trying to stay cool here because I have severe PTSD because my fiance was murdered thanks to the federal government. But 4 to 5 different times your officers come to my door at night and told me that there has been a call from a deaf mute call machine that doesn't trace to anyone, saying that someone was in,
like the TDD machine or something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or the typing word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 4 or 5 times that machine was supposedly called from my residence, saying that I had kidnapped someone, that I was harming someone inside my house. Now, we'd been a couple times we were asleep, a couple times, and my son was here every time. And the next thing I know, I've got cops at my door demanding to come in and search my home. Now, I don't know how to work those machines. I don't have one of those machines. But if you look at the totality of the circumstances, I just didn't wake up one day and go crazy. If you ever heard the government agency called InfraGard? You ever heard of that company?
I never used the term that you're crazy. I never.
Oh, no, but you just said I need to seek mental. I understand, but you said I need to seek mental health. But
you do, sir.
Oh, okay.
You really do. And I'll tell you this, as far as my agency goes, I remember when your son went missing, I was a new chief here, and I pulled every resource. I had the FBI, the FBI. I had everybody here looking for your son, and thank the good Lord, he was just hiding, skipping out the day of school, bless his heart. But, and then, we're incompetent, we're corrupt, we're crooked.
No, that didn't
talk to me.
That wasn't how that was. That wasn't how that was.
You think that my agency's corrupt?
For 5 hours, your deputies grilled me. For 5 hours, they grilled me. For 3 hours, they took my fiance and just had her scared to death, trying to get her to testify that I had murdered my son. They crawled up in the attic of my home and said, we need to find the body.
Okay. Well, like I say, we're not. That's done and over with. I'm just making a statement. You say that we never do anything. I can tell you that we have. We never, I don't know anything else to tell you. I'm sorry that you feel this way about my agency.
Well, see, I used to not. I've always had positive things about Longview Police Department. And you go back in the earlier videos, I've always had great interactions with your officers until my son pulled his little stunt. And then ever since then, everything went sour.
So, but obviously it's not positive about Longview officers. If the only good cops are dead cops and you cheer when cops die, I mean, that's, you're a dangerous man, Mr. Townsend.
What makes me dangerous? I've never been convicted of violent crime, sir, ever.
That don't matter. That don't matter. But anyway, I think this conversation needs to come to an end. If you have anything as far as needing the police, you call 911, you call whatever. If you got a complaint on one of my officers, you need to communicate with either a supervisor or my deputy chief. But I hope one day we can all resolve this. But that's my stance on it.
Well, I'll just assume that you guys are going to come get me one day for something you've made up, because I don't commit crimes. I'm not going to hurt law enforcement. I know how this works. There are men sitting in jail right now from this January 6th stuff set up by the FBI, and they did nothing but trespass. So I understand, but I'll tell you from the bottom of my heart, I am not a violent man. In my past, I absolutely was. My dad beat me into it within an inch of my life, my whole 15 years growing up in his home. But I can assure you, I am not a threat, and I am not a violent man. I've never laid hands on my wife or my daughters or the boy that I'm raising. But I do raise my son to be very weary of law enforcement. You guys are trained to be suspicious of everyone. And when law enforcement tells me they're scared of me, that terrifies me. That makes me scared to death for my life.
We're not scared of you.
Oh, well, you just said I was a dangerous man.
You're dangerous. That doesn't mean I'm scared of you.
And you won't even meet me in person. That's fear, sir.
No, that's not fear. Number one, you're sick. You admit that you've been under the weather, so I ain't about to get no COVID or nothing like that. And number two, our conversations probably wouldn't be. I don't think you would be this civil in person, because I've seen the way you react with people on your YouTube videos when you're in person. You get very agitated and very hostile towards them, and we don't need that. We can resolve anything we need to resolve over the phone.
Well, I would encourage you to look into what I'm speaking about. Look into InfraGard. Do you guys actually use them for law enforcement? The FBI trains members of the public to follow, stalk, and harass people like me. We are real. It is not mental illness. I get reached out at least 20 times a week by people all over the world that are being terrorized the same exact way. Now, you may think it's mental health, you may think it's mental illness, but I can assure you, sir, this program absolutely exists. My lawyer, Ralph Young, and if you've got any issues with me, you feel free to reach out with him, and he can contact me. If you come up with a warrant for whatever you want to see, call Ralph Young. He'll come get me. I ain't going to run. I ain't got nowhere to go. I don't have the resources to run. I just don't want to I don't want my family being in any kind of crossfire. But I can assure you, my lawyer, Ralph Young, didn't believe what I was saying. Ralph Young believes exactly what I'm saying now. Exactly what I'm saying. I can guarantee you that the FBI is using salt air leasing over here. I'll bet my life on it. I've got the flight logs, and everywhere I go, that plane from Salt Air is on my head. So I don't know. You don't want to talk about that. That's fine. But I would appreciate to keep my family safe whenever you do decide to come lock me up for whatever crime you think I've committed, because I think you know that I'm smart enough to pick my words wisely. I am. I know about communicating threats.
You're very intelligent.
I'm not gonna threaten somebody. I'm not gonna break the law, sir. I just don't break the law. The best you're gonna get on me is a seatbelt ticket. But I'm not gonna break the law, and I'm no threat to your officers. So I hope that you'll convey that to them.
Well, okay. All right. You bring up a good point, Mr. Townsend.
Yes, sir.
Let's me and you do a good faith gesture right here.
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't know if you want to take me up on it or not.
I'll take a man at his word. You kind enough to call me, so I'm open to hear anything.
I will personally tell every single officer that I have here, face to face. I'll tell each one of them that you wanted me to relay to them that you were no threat to them.
Absolutely.
On the flip side, please just tone it down with them. You know, this whole bow and arrow thing. Listen, I get it. I understand why you're upset. You also have to understand our stance on it too, and you're not going to, I know. But I will tell them that you ensured me that you were no threat.
I'm not.
On the other side, you know, these guys have watched your videos too. They see you say the only good cops are dead cops. You cheer when cops die. Man, they got families. They're just out here doing a job. I can tell you that none of these guys, nor me, nor my second, is targeting you. I can promise you that. You know, they see your Facebook where you got all this anti-cop stuff on it. What are they? How are they supposed to? You know, how are they supposed to not be heightened around you?
Well, I can tell you this much, and I probably shouldn't, but there are one or two of your deputies that I don't want to say I have a personal relationship, but there are two up there, and they absolutely see what's happening with me. Now, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to say a word. But and they're good men, and I'd go to war with them. I'd take a bullet for anybody on your force, and you don't have to believe that. But I know that I'm secure in my belief with the Lord Jesus Christ. My words may not match my heart, but every day I see injustice in this world. And see, I wasn't an activist until what happened to me started happening. I wasn't. I was. You know, I mean, but I got set up at 17 years old. One of my friends got busted by Kevin Faklowski over at the Hickory Police Department. Got set up. The next week, Kevin Faklowski gives him a quarter-pound of pot to give me. The next thing I know, I got a brand new baby. And the next thing I know, I got cops beating my door down saying that I'm trafficking weed because the cops bought the weed, give it to my buddy, he gave it to me, and then they came and got it from me. I mean, a circle to take away my rights. And right then I realized that I wasn't a criminal. I just held something for my friend and gave it back to him. Now, did I break the law? Yes. But for my rest of my life, be deemed a felon and have my rights taken away from me because I did my friend a favor, all set up by the Hickory Police Department. That puts a sour taste in your mouth, you know?
Well, hey, listen, I know we have bad people in every profession. We have bad school teachers molest our kids, preachers molest our kids.
Absolutely.
You know, police have killed innocent people. I'm not an idiot either. You know, I understand and I know real world. But I just, you know, I want you to know that as the chief, yeah, that rhetoric makes me think you're dangerous. But I'll also say this. If we were hiding, like targeting you, like trying to be sneaky, you'd have never seen us take a picture of your house this morning. You know what I'm saying? So let me assure you of that. I mean, there's nothing. Here's what I want, Mr. Townsend. I want you to be able to live down there, and obviously you have enough that you're dealing with on your own without having to worry about us. And I want us to worry about having to come in and do our job and get criminals out of our neighborhoods. And just like, you know, I heard your cry many months ago on a YouTube video over the house that was down below you, a drug house. I put all of my detectives on that house, and I've shut that house down, 20 people living in it, you know. Shut that house down, and that thing has been remodeled and sold and all. You know, I mean, so I do try to help, and we try to help this community all we can, but I also don't expect to have to worry about if you're going to come up here and kill one of my officers or pull over on the side of the road and shoot one of them because of the statement you made. You've got to kind of see my point, too. I don't think you got to agree with it, but let's just do that good faith effort, and I will personally tell them all that, and, you know, let's just try to live in harmony together. We're not going to come hurt you or your family, but I'm also going to be prepared if truly what you say is how you feel, and we have to have a violent encounter with you. If you bring violence to us, you say you're not going to. I'm taking you for your word.
I got no desire to hurt anybody. Never have.
Right.
Ever. It's just, you know, I see injustice and it hurts me. I'm an empath. I don't know if you know what that means, but I feel pain from people.
Yeah, I don't.
I feel pain when people are in pain. When I see people in pain, I feel it myself. And then I instantly go to pray for it. People may not think I'm a Christian because of the way I talk and the way my views are. But if you watch my channel, my goal is to get the hell out of Longview, North Carolina. I never wanted to be here a day in my life. I was promised I'd run Sons of the South up here, and I got screwed out of that job. So my goal is to build my houseboat, no matter how lofty that may be to anyone else. But that's my goal, is to get out of here as soon as possible so that I can be done and you guys can go back to your, you know, doing what you're doing. But your officers and the ones that know me know that I'm not a threat, you know. But I'm telling you, that blue line of silence is in every single department, and that scares the public. It really does to see that 90% of cop shootings in America, actually it's higher than that, it's like 95% of school shootings are exonerated. Boom, you're free to go, no big deal. So the public, their opinion has changed terribly. Now I don't back BLM. I know the whole point of BLM. Their whole job is to take this country over. That's the point. But federal law enforcement right now, and you're kind of engaged in it, surveilling me, and I ain't committed a crime, but federal law enforcement are putting people like me in jail just for our opinions. And that's scary. That is absolutely terrifying, that the weight of the federal government is going after innocent Americans just for speech. So when law enforcement takes pictures of your house because you dared use that First Amendment speech, no matter how offensive it may be, that's scary. That's very scary. It terrified my son. I can't imagine the shape he's in at school right now, because he's being bullied and picked on at school right now, and they won't even protect him at school. He got assaulted last week. So I know your time's valuable, and I appreciate your time.
No, listen. And your time's valuable, too. Let's you and I think of an agreement right here. Can we or can we not? You know, that's where I'm at. So it's not about. It's not just about your speech, and I you know, I know you've got the right to film, you've got the right to say, you've got the right to post.
And the worst thing is I went silent. I wasn't gonna go back on my YouTube channel, man, because you don't see the death threats I get daily.
I read a bunch of those comments, and there's some mean people to you.
Oh, dude,
they are.
And that ain't even talking about the phone calls. That ain't talking the calls to Sweetie's work, to our landlords. I mean, we got people every day calling social services trying to get us kicked out of our home because of a video. You know, so.
Well, listen. Let's try to, you know, let's try to be cordial if we can, and I will relay that to all of my officers. So just think of something on your end that you can, I'm just taking it at your word. If I tell them what you said, and that I believe you, I want to believe you, but I can't just say, after all the rhetoric you've done, I can't just say, oh, okay, well, I believe what you say. You got to understand that too. That'd be like me. You can't believe me. You've got to, we've got to mutually earn each other's trust. And I don't know if we ever will, Mr. Townsend, because you have a hell of a bad taste on government and law enforcement, rightfully so, with your own opinion. And I don't know, I don't know after all of your rhetoric if I can believe truly in your heart that you don't want cops killed. But I'm going to try that, and I'm going to relay that message to them. So I would appreciate it if you just, if my cops are treat you good, you treat them good.
I've never been disrespectful to any of them till they kind of cross the line. So I appreciate your time, but as I said, I don't break the law. I ain't going to break the law. My goal is to get the hell out of Longview, and I mean that with every grain of my fiber of my being. I want out of here. I'm tired of meth heads. I'm tired of sirens.
I mean, I understand that, but what's holding you up from? Or did you say you was building a house?
I'm building a houseboat. That is how terrorized I am. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's how terrorized I am. That I'm willing to build a houseboat and live in the middle of the water, so I'm not terrorized daily.
Right. Well, like I say, I hope you get what you want, and I know you're dealing with a hard time, and I appreciate you calling me this morning, and I hope that one day when we can, maybe we can all just put all this behind us and agree that we got to accept each other for what we are.
Yep.
And I don't know the path there, Mr. Townsend. I just know that, like you, I'm a Christian, and I seek God's advice and God's guidance daily. And I'm not the Christian that I should be. None of us are. But I'll tell you what I will do, and this is just between me and you. I will pray for God's guidance for both of us.
That'll work. You have a good day, sir.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I would tell you when that was recorded, but I can't remember. It's been a long time ago. Some will see that as a cordial conversation. I'm not an ass. I'm not mean. I'm not hateful. When I get triggered and I feel like my life's in danger, my family's life in danger, I react to it. The statements about me following home the code Nazi, the people on my channel heard exactly what I said. I said, what if I follow the code Nazi and find out where his house is, and I start writing up him for stuff in his yard because he threatened to give us a ticket for having a coffin in the front yard for Halloween. He threatened to give us a ticket. He called, and instead, and let me rephrase that. He didn't hit us directly. He went straight to the landlord in an attempt to get us kicked out of our house. He went to the landlord and threatened the landlord about what we were doing wrong. So that was the one misconception that he said, that I was going to follow him home and hurt him. The second one was about, well, I was going to go out there and intentionally endanger the public with my bow. And what I said is, if I put my target on the city property on the right of way and I shoot side to side along the road, that would be more dangerous to the public than me using that field. The statements, the only good cop's the dead cop. I have absolutely said that. And the only cops out there that would take that the wrong way is a bad cop. If there were no good cops, there's no way there could be bad cops. The bad cops could not survive without a good cop turning a blind eye. This conversation between me and the sheep happened a couple years ago. I made a grave mistake. And the mistake I made is I did not file a lawsuit in time for the harassment, because as you see, what he did was a 1983 lawsuit. It is deprivation of rights under color of law. He chilled my speech by threatening to go through my YouTube. Because as you heard, he said, I watch all your videos. He threatened my freedom because of my speech. That's a violation of my civil rights. He chilled my speech. The mistake I made is I made a video where I turned in the paper to sue, and I did not know the process because the process is different in every state. And I foolishly got online. And when I got online, I said, well, the statute of limitations has run out on my lawsuit. So now I cannot sue. And it was within a very short amount of time when they started pulling Tina over. And then I get pulled over by a state trooper. And that went sideways. I showed you the body camera on that, what little bit it was. And then a state trooper just incredibly parks up at the top of my road, staring into the brightest sunshine at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and somehow sees me cross over the train tracks in front of me and sees that I don't have a seatbelt, follows me to my driveway and gives me a ticket for a seatbelt. And I yelled and cussed him and chased him back to his car because I don't like it when a man's trying to steal from me. And it was retaliation. And this last time, during the Hurricane Helene, you didn't see a cop anywhere because I was out. I was out with a chainsaw trying to help people. No cops were anywhere during Hurricane Helene. But as soon as the power was back on, there was a cop sitting at the top of the road ready to write tickets. And I get beside of him, and I said, y'all stealing money today? And he said, heck yeah, I'm going to take as much as I can. That was, I mean, it was some frame of reference. I don't quote me specifically, but it was something just like that. And I said something like, well, that's what pigs do. And it was not 2 weeks later that I'm followed home. Cop meets me in the driveway. I get out of my car. He makes me get back. I'm not going to go over the case. I'll just play the body camera footage because I still haven't watched it and haven't reviewed it. And it's possible that my recollection may be different. But I need you guys to take this video and share it everywhere. This is a blatant civil rights violation. And now with this prosecution, because they know what weapons I have. They know how I carry them. They know I carry pocket knives. They know I'm a man's man. They know that I do things that men do. So as he said, we're going to go through your videos and find a crime. That's what he said. And think about all the times my channel was taken down and all the times my comments have been removed, just like he removed my comments from the town of Longview Police Department. I put a comment on there and they deleted it, which is another violation of my civil rights. They silenced my speech. You see, I went quiet. I went silent. I hadn't been on YouTube, and you guys noticed I was gone. Everybody was like, where are you at? Are you okay? Are you safe? And I went silent. And then this is what happened because they could not see through my eyes what was going on in my world. They couldn't picture it. So everything that conversation was based off of was my speech. You're a very violent man. You're dangerous. Well, I've been convicted of no violent crime. Never been convicted of laying my hands on someone, ever. So in America, you don't have free speech. So the mistake I made was letting them know that I let the statute of limitations run out on my lawsuit because everything had backed up, everything had slowed down, everything was quiet. Law enforcement do not like quiet. If I'm not telling them every time I get in my truck and go somewhere, they get upset. They start guessing and thinking and wondering, and the always never-ending suspicion of the American male. The suspicion from cops all the time. You've got to be doing something wrong. Everybody's suspicious. It's just not let's prevent crime. It's let's go out and find crime. This broken windows policing in America where your motorcycle will get stolen. They can't figure that one out. But by God, you better have that seatbelt on. This is the world we're in. And unfortunately, I showed my hand and let them know that my lawsuit had run out of time. I, in my heart, think that's the only thing that kept them at bay. And this last cop, because I know that he watches my videos too, they let it slip in the body camera footage. he wasn't going to be treated the way I treated that state trooper in my driveway. The video I played for a couple of days and deleted. I still got it. But he wasn't going to be made a fool of in front of his cop buddies or his chief the way I treated that trooper. This one came in hot. He was ready to arrest me. The whole point was to get me to react, and you'll see it in the video, and then lock me up for what? For pocket knives, for a pistol, a black powder pistol that I'm lawfully, legally allowed to have that's hanging on my pocket clip visible. So thank you for those who've been here. Hit the thumbs up. Please share this video for me. I've got hours of body camera footage that I haven't even seen. This is the first time I've heard this recording. That's how much it triggers me. I'm on the edge of panic right now. No one will understand PTSD until it happens to you. But as you've seen in the conversation, I'm polite. I'm not gonna lie. And all the people that denied this video, that happened the whole time, it happened. As always, you talk garbage on me, and I prove you wrong. Law enforcement's out of control. I did not wake up an activist. I didn't wake up and imagine planes and drones following me. I didn't wake up to this tyranny happening in America. So please share this video. It's very enlightening. Where a chief of police openly admits that your speech is the reason we're recording your son. Your speech is the reason we opened up an intelligence investigation. Because of your speech, we are investigating you. And the statement, well, if we wanted to investigate you and not let you know, you'd never know it. So what does that mean? We wanted you to see us watching you. We wanted to intimidate you to let you know you're not going to run all over us. Pitiful peasant. Pray for my family's safety. Pray when we get out of here, pray that God will give us the funds to leave. There are things in the works and in the motions, but I need God's grace and I need God's help, and that comes from you. No, they won't sub to my channel, Greg, because it'll show up. Please share this video with Lackluster, Honor Your Oath, James Madison, Rogue Nation, Accountability for All. Share it with all the large YouTube channels. Share it with the small ones. Share it with, Lackluster is the one I want to get. He's the biggest one. Long Island Audit. Anybody. Those guys know I'm very critical. They don't want to touch me because of what I do and what I say. They don't want to touch me because they don't want to mess with the federal government. They don't mind little old first, but little old me. They don't want to believe it, but I've proven everything I said is true. So thank you for being here. Please share this video and pray for our safety. God bless.